wealth fund that was announced today, do you think that should apply to projects such as the pipeline or maybe even the new LNG and electricity transmission projects that were put forward to the MPO in northern British Columbia?
Well, I think when the Prime Minister announced a sovereign wealth fund, you would think that it would look like Norway's sovereign wealth fund. In fact, he even compared it to the Norwegian sovereign wealth fund. Well, the model is completely different. The Norwegian model is actually making sure that oil and gas contribute to their sovereign wealth fund. In fact, they have $1.7 trillion US in their sovereign wealth fund, and in last year alone, they earned $242 billion just on royalties. This looks nothing like that. He's giving oil and gas companies and resource extraction companies another free pass. And he has tools. He has the Canadian pension plan. Why isn't he looking to them to invest here in Canada and legislate that? So, I mean, this is nothing like the Norwegian model of a sovereign wealth fund. Where is our sovereign wealth fund? Well, I'll tell you where it is. It went to CEOs and investors. And that's what's happened for decades in this country. When instead he could reverse that and follow the Norwegian model truly and have resources for future generations that can invest in clean energy, that can build an economy for the future. But instead, that he's continuing to allow that to escape us by letting fossil fuel companies earn record profits, give that money to investors and CEOs instead of creating a true fund that could move us into the next generation, and having resources to be able to lean back on.
So you'd want to see it more modeled like the Heritage Fund in Alberta in a way where...
Well, the Heritage Fund in Alberta is minuscule what it should be. Let's face it. I mean, the Alberta government and many of the Alberta MPs that are here, conservatives, they're active lobbyists for the oil and gas industry. They uphold the broken structural model that allows all profits from oil and gas to continue to flow to CEOs and shareholders instead of investing in future generations in the way Norway does. Norway has over $1.7 trillion US in their sovereign wealth fund, earning, like I said, $242 billion last year just in dividends and royalties off of their sovereign wealth fund. Where's ours? In the pockets of CEOs, in the pockets of investors.
But just wondering as well how you might feel like, I don't have an answer for this yet. I've asked whether this could apply to, let's say, the proposed pipeline, whether we could see federal cash or Canadians investing their own money into that pipeline. If that is the case, I'll wait for the confirmation, but if that is the case, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are this, that we have a pipeline that's owned by the taxpayer, $34.5 billion. Sorry, I see a truck running by.
That's fine, thank you.
Look, there is a pipeline owned by Canadians. It was, when it was bought, it was in below $10 million, $7 million. It ran up a tab of $34.5 billion. Despite the fact that the big five oil and gas companies earned $25 billion last year alone in profits, none of them have stepped forward to buy the existing pipeline. Now we're talking about another pipeline. Well, it certainly shouldn't come from taxpayers. That's for sure.
Thanks so much. Appreciate your time.